Join. Excellent.
Wonder.
It worked.
Well, that's brilliant.
Super. I'm excited. Excellent. You know what? Because at that moment, it was still showing me that it wasn't possible to join. I cancelled. And at that very moment, I heard you join.
Well, somehow it worked out.
Never mind. It worked. That's the most important thing. And I'm really glad that, in fact, the energies are on our side. Janko, I warmly welcome you to this broadcast, and I wish a lovely early evening to everyone who is watching us now, will be watching, or will watch the recording later. So, I'd like to welcome you, and I'll say about you that we are both partners in science, and together, as in you and I, we live in England. I'm in London. And where exactly are you?
In Bradford, in Italy, Bradford.
Bradford. Well, I've never been there, but perhaps the future doesn't rule it out. And today I'd like to have a chat with you, or rather to introduce the topic of what actually brought you to this community. And I'll also say something about why I actually brought myself here, or what inclined me, what led me to get into science, and what the perspective is, how I see it, what the advantages are, what we can expect, what the future holds, what the benefits are, and all the plans and things connected to that. So I'm looking forward to today's discussion because it will mainly develop in this spirit. So first, Janko, I'd like to ask you to introduce yourself and tell us something about yourself.
Thank you. So, my name is John O'Kovar. As Sylvia said, I have been living in England for 12 years now. I came to England because I have family here, my children are here, so that's why I live here. Before that, I lived in Slovakia, and I have a lot of experience with business there. And in England, it's not easy, because without the language, it's difficult. But I have learned something important over the years, and all this time I have been seriously thinking about doing something alongside my current job, or perhaps creating some other reliable source of income that would eventually support me in the future, because I am getting on in years and, quite simply, my idea of the future isn't to be getting up at 6 in the morning and going to work and working for. You could say, I'm not saying it's bad money, but simply just being dependent on what I get from my employer. But I have a different idea about my life and my future. That's why I was always looking for something. I tried all sorts of companies involved in network marketing, because you can earn good money there as well. Most of the time, as far as Slovakia is concerned, it was financial products and financial matters, lots of different companies. Here, I started to focus more on health but I realized that it didn't really, well, not that it didn't satisfy me, but there's a lot of fierce competition. And so, one acquaintance from Facebook, well, I was browsing Facebook and I came across his advert. So I read the advert and it caught my attention. Right, that it's possible to earn some money from home via the internet. So I wrote to him, asking him to send me the presentation. So every Wednesday evening, there's a presentation, and I watched it, and at that moment I made up my mind. I decided because the presentation really interested me. I see the future of business, or simply work, in the fact that I want to help people, I want to do good for others, and that's also the best way, because by helping other people, I know I'm making friends and building a good reputation for myself as a person, and people are simply grateful, right? When someone realizes that their health has improved, and health is the most valuable thing a person has, isn't it?
Yes, I agree with you, because we especially start to realize it as the years go by, as we get older, what is most important in life and how to bring balance to the body. Well, good health, because a lot of people don't have it or would like to have it. And it's not easy to go back a few years, to take 5 steps back, to be where you were 10 years ago, right, when your health is already undermined or completely somewhere else. So it's not easy to do it, I'd say, overnight. to suddenly be in the same position as I was, for example, 10 years ago, is it? That's what I wanted to add.
Yes, exactly. It's exactly as you say. Well, what really caught my attention, what truly interested me in that presentation, were, first and foremost, the products themselves. Because up until now I've only come across companies that offer food supplements in the form of tablets or capsules, or simply some kind of drink that you consume to help yourself.
Yes.
Of course, that's good. There are many companies on the market that are very high quality and have really good products. But what interested me about Whieda was that they started doing network marketing with technologies and devices. Nobody does this.
Only.
Exactly, yes, and that's precisely what excited me about all of this, because today we live in a modern age, young people and, if I may say, our future, they're focused on their phones from morning till night.
Yeah.
They're simply into technology. They're interested in it. Our future. Yes, I'm listening.
That it's really just technology that today's youth run on, and it's simply that kind of generation. There's nothing we can do about it, right?
That's true, yes. However, but just as times change or simply develop, everything is constantly changing, and you could say that everything has its pros and cons, right? But for example, when it comes to progress, when it comes to medicine and humanity's knowledge about medicine, it's simply very important for each of us, because understanding the human body and knowing how it works, and inventing technologies and devices that help solve problems in a simpler and painless way, sometimes even overnight, you could say, well, that's really something, isn't it? And exactly this.
And let me just add, sorry for interrupting you. And let me also add, from the home environment,
Yes, that.
which is very important. We really need to emphasize that these devices are so simple, whether in terms of operation or anything else, that they are actually designed for everyone, for every single household. So a person doesn't need certificates, training, or any special courses or learning for it. And I also think they are quite affordable for every household.
Absolutely, of course, that's exactly right. And these facts plus the marketing really excited me, because everywhere I've been until now, I've always come across the need to register, simply put. You simply have to choose some sort of package to register with, and then, in order to have an income, to earn money, you have to make a regular purchase every month of a certain amount, right?
Emma-chan,
And with Vieda, it works in such a way that a person registers or becomes a partner by buying something they actually need themselves, something they want to use for themselves or for their family.
exactly.
And they don't have to make any regular monthly purchases. They don't have to, as long as they're not building any network or structure, as long as they simply don't have a network of partners, then they don't have to make any purchases. And even if they've been there for 3 years, 5 years, they're still a member and partner of the Vieda company, right? They're still there, not for that purpose, and they can return to that account at any time and buy something they need, right?
Even if it's just one tube of toothpaste or one pack of toothpaste, which, for example, could last the whole family 3 months, right?
For example.
For example, right?
Or, for instance, sanitary pads for women are very interesting, right? Women buy them anyway. Every month they stock up. But they're simply made from waste, if I can put it that way, right? It's simply.
Recycled material.
Yes, it's made from recycled materials, which are chemically processed in all sorts of ways so that it looks nice, right? And clean.
And even smells nice.
Yes, smells nice. But that's just one thought, right? That's just a simple thought that really resonates with me as well. That's it. I used to have problems with my teeth, but now I have implants, so I don't have to worry about those issues anymore. Thank God. But when I used to go to the doctor, he told me, cavities aren't good for your teeth, because all sorts of bacteria from food or anything else can get into your bloodstream through the vessels, and that can damage your body, and you could even end up with a serious illness.
Ame-chan.
But now, when I think about it, women are, well, they're also, simply put, they're open as well, if I can put it that way, right? That's right, and they have to protect themselves down there, if I can put it that way, yes, they have to protect their bodies, because all sorts of bacteria and other harmful things can get in there, which are bad for women's health.
Definitely.
And that's why it caught my attention, because it takes into account all areas of life, whether it's to do with, for example, legs, feet, the spine, all sorts of pains, various skin problems or hair, or simply the overall condition of the body's energy, right? For everything.
Which is the most important thing, because nowadays people are basically dealing with burnout syndrome and people are simply looking for, there just isn't any energy, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And on top of that, the entire life, if I can put it that way, these days there are so many difficult things weighing down on us all. When I look, I don't watch the news, you see? But many people do watch the news. They notice everything that's happening around us. So, quite simply, they end up feeling depressed, stressed out, nervous. They don't know what's going to happen, right? And that's exactly why it's important to give people a sort of hope, to show that a person can help themselves and not have to rely on anyone else, and simply be able to help themselves, whether it's about their health, their prosperity, or the life of their family. Because just like it was during COVID, a lot of people were losing their jobs. I lost my job too. But if you're involved in a project that can generate income from home, then no matter what happens, you'll always have your own income. That's also something very, very interesting, something worth noting. The company's marketing is very generous, extremely generous. Most systems in various companies are either binary or simply unilevel. But here, it's a hybrid marketing system of three systems. Step bonus, binary bonus, and unilevel bonus, plus other bonuses for global turnover and directors' travel rewards and so on. There's a lot on offer here. The marketing is very generous. I was convinced a lot about the strength of the company, the prestige of the company, the quality of the company when I was in China, because I saw the people behind the company there. I saw them in person. Yes, I was with them, and I can say it's truly incredible how strong this company is. This isn't just any ordinary company. This company has been operating on the market for many years, since 2007, and until now it has mostly worked in Asian countries. At the moment, everything is expanding into the European market. If I may put it this way, on the other hand, it's a very big opportunity for people who are involved in other systems, or for those who are searching, who see potential in themselves, who see abilities in themselves that they don't know how to use. Because each of us has some gift within us. We all have certain abilities, but we're afraid to assert them. We're afraid to let them out, because we underestimate ourselves. And that's exactly because of our surroundings, because we compare ourselves to others. But when a person realizes that we only have one life and we have to push through it to get what we want, to fulfill our own dreams, then a person, not someone else's, no. Yes, and not someone else's, as you say, then we find that strength within ourselves and simply go after what we want. We're not doing anything bad to anyone, we're simply helping people. That's the best way, the best thing we can do. And there are a lot of people who are searching for themselves, and that's why we're here. That's also why this,
Live broadcast.
yes, a live broadcast, so that we can reach people who are looking for an opportunity. All across Europe.
They're interested or have an idea, or just as you said, they're searching for themselves. They don't know what to do and would like to try something, but they're not clear about it. But why not be open and give it a try? Come along, we'll present it to you. And as you mentioned, Janko, yes, the products are phenomenal. It's not just about the products and devices, which are also unique on the market. No other company in Europe is actually offering them yet. But this is about giving everyone the opportunity to start for themselves. No one here has any special privileges, or however you want to call it. Everyone starts the same way, with the same opportunity, and can see for themselves, as you mentioned, how generous the company is with its rewards and everything it offers. The only requirement is to purchase your first starter pack, for which you immediately receive 100% cash back into your wallet. Which is amazing, because if you go and do your shopping at Tesco for €100, does Tesco give you a €100 bonus so you'll come back again? Definitely not. Yes, no other company offers things like this. In our company, you automatically get 100% cash back into your wallet for a secondary purchase, and in that very moment, you can make a secondary purchase for just 50%. And no one forces you when you have to make that repeat purchase. You do it when you feel like it, as they say, in a month, in a month, in half a year, in half a year, in a year, in a year. Whenever you feel like you have the money or whatever draws you to it, no one will force you. Everyone has the opportunity to try it out because it's a newly established company on the European market. We can actually say that because it only entered the European market a year ago. So anyone who is open to these things or would just like to try because the products are so amazing that they help everyone. We have fantastic reviews for all the products, including technologies for the home environment, so that everyone can come and have the chance to try them out. If someone doesn't like it, they don't have to make repeat purchases or continue or create a passive income. But as you mentioned, we experienced the pandemic period and many of us lost our jobs, and we were used to physically going to work every day. What happened during the pandemic? We all had to stay at home in lockdown, and just as you said, I was left without any income for 7 months. And it wasn't easy to get by, because you still have to eat and pay for everything. And if I hadn't had any savings, I don't know how I would have survived. But now I know how important it is to create additional passive incomes, so that you actually have several sources in life and aren't dependent on just a single paycheck that you have to wait for until the end of the month, right?
Exactly. I'd also like to mention one more thing about that. When someone buys the registration package, if they place an order of a higher value, the company even gives a cell activator for free, which is worth €603. So the company gives people a cell activator for free with their first order as well, which is also a really, really big deal. And regarding the collaboration, I'd like to share my observations from the big congress I attended, where there were ambassadors present. These are ambassadors who have been working for science for several years longer than we have. We're only just starting now, but they've been working in Asia for much longer. And there was a gentleman there from Nigeria. Well, most of them were sharing their stories there. There were people from Bangladesh, India, and, well, there were about 10,000 people there, all sorts of nationalities, you know. But he really caught my attention because, well, he was telling his story. Most of them were sharing their stories, and they mostly talked about how it hadn't been easy for them. And this particular gentleman, the ambassador, which is actually the highest position in network marketing in our company, he only finished 3 years of school. He only completed 3 years of education.
In Nigeria, right?
Sorry.
Like, in Nigeria, he only finished 3 years.
Yes, in Nigeria. And now he's an ambassador who, just to give you a rough idea, earns around, well, actually more. I can't say the exact figure, but it's not a small amount, you know. I don't want to mention numbers, you know. But it's a large amount, and yet he's only got 3 years of schooling. But the point I want to emphasize is that anyone who truly wants it and works on themselves and on their dreams can achieve it. There's no problem that can't be solved, or where you can't simply find a way to make things work out well. Because if 100 people tell you no and one person says yes, that one yes was worth it. You know, and if you're someone who is patient, persistent, and has strength within, an inner drive that pushes you forward, then you'll get through any problems. He gets through them and keeps going, because he's following his dreams and it is possible. Likewise, all of us are definitely living in better circumstances than, for example, if we had to live somewhere in Africa, right? We certainly have better conditions to start doing something in this direction. And it's just about making a decision. It's simply about deciding to do something with your life, to move forward in life. Of course, it's not for everyone. Not everyone is born for it, because we all have something different that we enjoy, that draws us in, that attracts us. But in our team, we have an 8-year-old lady who, I saw recently, achieved the position of director, right? We have a 70-year-old lady who is also a director. It really is just about making that decision and wanting it, nothing else. And overcoming your fear, because we all have a certain amount of fear and worries inside us. It's something unknown, something new, and now you think, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? And so on, right? These are the initial worries that someone might have, even if they really want to do it. But maybe the first thing they think about is money. Then what will I do? How am I going to do it? I'll be on my own for everything, and will I be successful at it? And all sorts of doubts come up in advance, and then it's clear that you just end up standing still. You have to cast aside your fear, overcome yourself, step out of your comfort zone, and change your daily routines or other habits, because you simply have to start changing, right? For example, talk more with people. It's perfectly normal to have a warm, friendly attitude towards others. Because nowadays, we are very closed off. We are very afraid of everything, of everyone, and that's the kind of barrier we create within ourselves, which closes us off from each other as people. And I'll just share another experience. There were about 900 of us in China, people from all sorts of different countries, you know? Russians, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and I don't know how many other countries, Germans, Hungarians, and so on. But I never felt that anyone was looking at each other the wrong way, or anything like that. We were just normal. Honestly, I felt there as if I was with my own family. Everyone was smiling, everyone shook hands, asked where you were from, how you were doing, and shared their stories, just normally. Even now, I can still see those beaming faces in my mind.
A friendly Atmos.
Yes, I went outside at 2 o'clock because my bus was leaving at 5, so I went out for a bit of fresh air, and as I was coming back to the hotel, that lady from Russia shouted to me, "Hey, Slovakia, come here." And she called me over, so I went to sit with them, because there was a party going on and there were more people there, men, women, everyone just sitting and chatting. So she invited me to join them. So I went over, we sat together, had a chat, drank a beer, and then I went back to my room, right? And these were complete strangers to me. I didn't know them at all, nothing. And that's exactly what this opportunity gives us. You know, it's not just, it's so much more. It's impossible to describe, because here you find new friendships, new relationships. Quite simply, there's a strong community here, strong friendships, and a great deal of cooperation, because everyone genuinely wishes for each other to succeed. And that also applies to people who might potentially consider working with us.
And I'd also add that there's a great opportunity for travel. People who love traveling or would like to visit extraordinary destinations, like you did recently in China. I know that in August it's Moscow, and then towards the end of the year, I'm not sure, it might be Vietnam or something like that.
Vietnam or Hong Kong, it's not 100% certain.
Or Hong Kong. Yes, so there are truly huge and exciting opportunities for travel with the company, which can actually make a lot of people's dreams come true. Because, really, anyone from our company can travel like this, right? It's something that's open to everyone, isn't it?
When you mention those holidays, well, there is one thing that's true. You know, a person can actually go on holiday completely for free. If you join us today and start working, you can go on holiday in the winter, in November or December, absolutely free of charge. And next year, You can go to China again in the summer for a summer holiday, also for free. That's exactly why there's this opportunity here. You can simply create a travel bonus, which will cover your costs so you can go for free. A lot of people have asked me how much I paid. I'll tell you exactly how it is. I didn't have any money saved up in the travel bonus, so I paid for it myself. I paid 1,200 euros for the holiday in China, but we spent every day from morning till night in luxury. We were well looked after. I had so many experiences. I saw so many things, and when we were heading home, we received products, a new activator, a suitcase, and many other items that were given to us for free by the company as gifts, all included in the price I paid for the holiday. Basically, I went for free. I had unbelievable experiences.
Yes, because I think that for the price you mentioned, you wouldn't be able to spend so many days or travel that much in China. It's just not possible.
It's not easy at all to go to China, because it's a different world. It's a different culture. Much different. I really liked it, but life there is different, yet it's a beautiful life. Simply put, the people are kind. I didn't see a single nervous or stressed Chinese person. They were all friendly, smiling, normal, natural people, you know? And I used to go into those little streets where only Chinese people lived, you know? And I would go for walks there, and it was honestly really modern. If someone told me that today, I'd believe them. If someone told me today that China is at the level of the year 2050, and we're only at the level of 2025, I'd believe it. They are really ahead in everything. They value their lives, and that really inspired me. China really energized me. Also, seeing the company, meeting people from the company, listening to their stories, seeing their experiences, hearing about their experiences, I was honestly amazed, because one morning, a young lad came up to me and asked how I was and where I was from. I said, I'm from Slovakia, and you? I don't know which country he was from, but he started talking. He said, I've been working in Vienna for half a year now, and I've reached this position, and my mum became a regional director in just 3 months. Again, the same thing. In fact, in just 2 or 3 months, they can reach director positions where, for example, the income is around 2,500 to 3,000 euros per month. So, that's really something. And that's something we all long for. How many of our people, in the various systems we have here, right? In all sorts of companies, people have to work hard just to earn 2,500 to 3,000. They have to work for a year or two, spend 2 years building networks, building teams, struggling with all of that, right? Just to earn 2 or 3,000 euros a month. At first, maybe the money is just 50 or 100 euros a month, and they're happy to have even that. And here, you can earn very good money, and very quickly. And what I'll say next is very important. The company isn't focused on customers, because right now it's at a stage where it's building a network of partners, as their plan is to have 1 billion people worldwide. And now, only partners are expanding into countries, so that awareness of the company spreads everywhere. And then, they'll start focusing on customers as well, right? So that's why it's such a unique opportunity. That's why the company pays us so well, because we're spreading their name, their brand. The company is a unique one. I saw another certificate at the company headquarters, and it says World Economic Forum, right? And it says there that it's a leader in the field of technology development, strategy development, and business development, right? So it's not just any ordinary company, it's truly a luxury company with many years of experience behind it, and many years of experienced managers and directors. The company president used to travel with us on the bus every morning, stayed with us in the hotel, looked after us, brought us water, and made sure we had something to eat. They really liked it because we traveled by train, by high-speed train. He arranged it so that, 2 stops ahead, he called and ordered us burgers from McDonald's, and then 2 stops later he went to pick up the box and handed out a burger to each of us. The company president, right? Such a big, important company. It's not some small company, is it? And another thing I like is that this business and the whole idea are going from east to west, not from west to east. Usually, everything that comes from west to east is already ruined. Everything that no one buys there anymore, they send to us. But here, something is coming from east to west with a completely different strategy, a completely different way of thinking. Everything is just different, and not to mention, it's based on traditional Chinese medicine, genuine China, right? Many of our companies that are on the market here say, we have products that supposedly address health, and they're based on herbs and all sorts of research related to traditional Chinese medicine, because that medicine is thousands of years old and continues to develop. Even modern medicine builds on it, things like body composition, all those points in acupuncture, all those points are taken from Chinese medicine. But above everything, above all our products, above all the elixirs or anything else, stands a professor of Chinese medicine who is recognized throughout Asia and the world, who is, in fact, the personal doctor of the President of China. He treats the parliament. He is a leading authority in the field of traditional Chinese medicine, absolutely top-notch. And he stands behind our company, behind our products. So, what I want to say is just how strong this company is, how scientific. That's why it's not just a collaboration with some company where people pooled their money, invented some product, and then released it to the world. This is a very strong, respected company, with which we have the opportunity.
Yes, and I also have to say, just to add, that they have their own production facility, their own factory, actually, where every single product present, you mentioned elixirs, actually, they are all based on that Chinese cordyceps. They contain Chinese cordyceps and reishi mushrooms, which, as we all know, are healthy and beneficial for our bodies, right? So it's not just about buying from a third party and adding a tiny bit of something into the mix, but seriously, they really make an effort and pride themselves on ensuring that their products are of a very high standard, and what they describe or what we can read in some materials, it really does work. And it really is the case, and people actually have such experiences with these products or devices. Isn't that right, Janko?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Exactly. So, for those of you who are thinking about it, who are dissatisfied or disappointed with your current company, where you see no progress, no future for yourself, whether it's because of the people or the system, where you have to make regular monthly purchases just to get paid, and it's simply not profitable for you. Maybe you're thinking about the price now, right? Let me explain one thing. The price. Maybe you pay a certain amount for some syrup in a small bottle, but when your whole family starts drinking it, you'll finish it in 2 days. With us, you buy a machine, for example, an activator for €603. The first purchase, the first time you buy it, but the second one is already discounted by up to 50%. But that device will work for you for a year, 2, even 3, and your whole family can use it, the whole family for 3 years. So yes, it does cost money, but it won't break after a week. You use it for 3 years. And now I'll give you an example that a journalist mentioned to me. Women buy hairdryers, Dyson hairdryers, and some of these hairdryers are simply expensive. They cost 300, 400, €500.
Well, Dyson is an expensive brand, very expensive.
And now imagine that when you have a Dyson at home and you use it to dry your hair, what else can you do with it? Nothing. You just dry your hair with it, right? Imagine that instead of a Dyson, you buy a cell activator. You dry your hair just like you would with a Dyson, but in addition, the cell activator starts to stimulate your hair roots. Your hair starts to look better, the color changes, gray hairs become fewer, right? Those who don't have hair, or whose hair is falling out, will start to grow new hair again. Or, the whole family can use it. For example, if the children come home from school and say, "Mum, I feel unwell, my nose hurts, my head hurts," you just take it and blow on them. "I come home from work, I'm tired, I banged myself at work today." The wife comes over and blows on it for him, right? Pains and all sorts of things can simply be solved with the cell activator for €603. So now, a comparison, Dyson or the cell activator, yes?
What uses, the versatile uses of this cell activator, really? and actually for the whole family. But what all it can do is truly incredible, because just think of all the ways we can use it throughout the household for the entire family, right?
Exactly. So there's nothing to hesitate about, just get in touch. Write either to Sylvia or to me.
So,
And we can.
if anyone is interested or is toying with the idea of starting something, trying something out, but hasn't done so yet, that's fine, even if you have no experience. We can advise you either Janko, get in touch with Janko. Janko, what is your Facebook or which social media do you use? If someone wanted to write to you, tell them yourself.
Jan Kovac. Everyone will see me there, because you shared me in the live, so everyone will see my name. Anyone who wants to can get in touch with me.
But who would want to? Yes? So just look up Jan Kovar on Facebook. You can contact Janko for collaboration, or for something else. Yes, or actually for promotion, explanation, or if you're interested in any specific product of ours, or if you'd like to know more about our company, what you can gain, what benefits there are, how much you can actually earn, and how to generate additional passive income for yourself, for your family, and so on. So feel free to get in touch, write to us. There's no need to be shy, because in my experience, people in Slovakia are quite shy, and even when it comes to replying to messages, they're hesitant to respond. I know, it's part of the culture, and these are just some patterns we really have. And as you were saying about those fears and worries, so there's no need to be afraid or worried. You just need to try, take a step, give it a go. Because if you don't take a step and try something new today, then what? When do you want to try and make a change? In 5 years? In 10 years? And you'll just end up waiting for your retirement. So you really need to decide and take that step forward today, so that the seed is sown now. For what you want to be doing next year, or where you want to be. Because if you don't start playing with that idea, if you just leave it, then in a year's time you'll still be in exactly the same place as you are today. That's how it is, because energy and vibrations work like that these days. People are planting seeds in your mind, playing with ideas, create. Don't be afraid, ask, talk. It's that simple. These days, things happen quickly like this, because energies are accelerated. Just realize, it's the year 2025. Don't fall behind the times, don't let such opportunities pass you by, because life is too short and you only have one health.
All of Europe is empty, and all of England is just getting started.
Exactly.
You live somewhere in a country in the European Union, but you live in England. Just imagine the person who brought McDonald's to the English market. Do you know how much he earns now? Because there's a McDonald's in every town.
In every one, all over the world.
But examples in England, if I focus on England, just imagine what your salary would be if you were the one to bring it here and start expanding it, either in England or somewhere in the European Union, in one of the countries. It's a very, very, very big opportunity, one you really need to grab by the horns and go for, because if you work hard for half a year or a year, it will provide for you for the rest of your life. And it will provide for you nicely for your whole life. You need to think and take action.
Yes, you need to sow the seeds and play with the idea. Take a step forward and make that decision. I know that in my own case it wasn't an easy decision either, because time also plays a big role for me, the question of when. But I told myself that even though I don't have time and I don't know what else I could cut back on in my life, so it would have to be sleep. But I told myself I have to carve out, to find some time during the day, or if not every day, then at least every other day or every third day, and start focusing on building, as they say, my near future. Because I don't want to get up every morning and be off to work by 6 o'clock. That's not my goal, it's not the aim of my life. And I already have some passive income, because this isn't my only project, I have some other projects as well, and if I hadn't started playing with that idea a few years ago, I wouldn't have generated any passive income to this day. Yeah, So that's how it works. People, don't be afraid. Come on, sign up. We'll be more than happy to advise and explain everything to you. Either Budianko or myself. Simply grab the opportunity by the horns, seize these chances and join us.
Let's show some respect. Just a quick thought that came to mind. I've actually noticed this with people. When? Because I'm also currently going to work. Yeah? But people in the morning, when they arrive at work, it struck me as something quite normal. People go there reluctantly. They go in with no enthusiasm, but they go and do the job because they have to, so they can pay their bills. And to me, it honestly seemed like people were going to work like zombies, you know? Because they go there as if they have no spirit, as if they're being forced, just so they can do something.
Janko, I'll tell you why it's like that. It's because people go with the awareness that they're working for someone else, not for themselves.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything for themselves, but for their employer, fulfilling their employer's dreams. Right. And that's why there's this reluctance, even if, for example, someone actually likes or has a connection to the work they do. But as you said, they go to work unconsciously because they're not working on their own dreams, but on someone else's. And that's what brings people down, makes them feel depressed, discourages them, and then it shows in their life as well.
And that's the sad part, that a person can go through their whole life and, at the end, realize they never actually lived their own life at all, but lived a life that someone else imposed or forced upon them.
Yes, exactly. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you. If you like, get in touch with Janko or write to me. We wish you all the best. Janko, thank you very much for the interview. Thank you for bringing and sharing such interesting things from China with us, because I find it fascinating, and I believe that next year I'll finally manage to go to China myself. I really hope I'll go and experience it for myself and see as much of it as possible. So I wish you a lovely rest of the weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and we firmly believe that you'll make that important decision in your life.
We're keeping our fingers crossed for you and wish you all the best. May everything go well for you.
Yes, and good health.
We've made a good decision.
Yes, and good health. That's what matters.
Good health, exactly.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.